Okay, guys, so in this video, I want to go over a losing trade real briefly, nothing crazy. I just want to get this little video out there for you guys while I can and before too much time goes by. So it's a trade that I did on Friday. It was a $150 loss on NVIDIA. I made a joke and I said, this is why I normally don't trade on Fridays. You know, I have my reasons of why I don't trade on Fridays. I usually don't trade on Fridays. I try not to trade on Fridays. It's part of my rule. I teach my students not to trade on Fridays. Like I literally sent out the alert on Friday saying I normally don't trade Fridays, but you can watch this. That's what I usually say. Like I don't usually trade on Fridays, but you can. This is the one before that, the Friday before that. So that's that. The first thing that I want to the main reason why I want to go over this, I guess I can say, and make a video out of it, because there really isn't any point into it. I just kind of want to do it as a purpose of one, showing my losses and having something to kind of post about more. But I want to use this as a reason to kind of just put some little commentary out here as to why you have your rules. Now, whoever you are, I'm sure you have your own rules. And if you don't, then that's probably why you're losing at trading, is because you don't have a system, you don't have a plan, you don't have rules. But I have rules. I teach my students to have certain rules. And one of those is that I don't trade on Friday. So I'm first of all, I'm not upset about this. I don't get upset when I lose. It's part of the game. If you're gonna get upset when you lose, then you can't trade. It's not gonna work. You will lose. It's a guarantee. It's there's no way around it. You will lose. So yeah, you just have to accept it. It's the name of the game. It's part of it. It's just how it goes. You just have to accept it. You can't get all upset about it. You just got to move on. Got to. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but that's the point. Is it happens. It's going to happen. It will happen. Just get used to it. Learn to manage it is basically the whole point here. So the thing that I'm upset about, I guess you could say, is that it broke my streak. Now, I'm not the type of person that really cares too much about streaks or anything like that. But I think what really is getting to me about it is that because I knew I shouldn't have done the trade. Or I just knew. It was Friday already. That should have been enough. I should have just listened to my rules. If I listened to my rule, I wouldn't have lost. I'd still be on a good streak. Now, streaks don't really matter to me because I always say I would rather be rich than be right. So that means I'm not going to stay in a trade knowing that I should get out of it just because of the fact that I have a streak or just because I want to keep my streak going or whatever it is. No, if I'm going to lose, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm taking it. I would rather be rich than right. I would rather take my small loss than letting it get worse and worse and worse. And, that's pretty much that. So I'm not really upset about the fact that I lost 150 here, 145. I'm just upset about the fact that I broke my little streak that I had going, and I'm upset that it was my fault. That's it. There's no one else I can blame. Well, in the market, there's no one else you can blame but yourself on everything. But specifically on this, because sometimes you lose. Sometimes you think you're going to be right, and you just don't end up being right. And that's the point of trading, is you got to get a system, a strategy that gets you right more than half the time, and then have a risk management strategy that goes in hand with it so that you're winning more than you're losing. But anyways, I'm just rambling too much here. My point is that you have rules for a reason. First of all, have rules, and then understand that you have them for a reason. Don't break your rules. That's mainly what I'm upset about, is because I broke my rule. I'm upset at myself. You get what I'm trying to say? That's the point that I'm trying to make here. I'm just like, dude, you knew you shouldn't have traded. You even said that you weren't going to trade. It's a rule. I literally, in the course that I have for people that want to learn how to trade, there's 70 total video lessons, and it's 12 hours long. One of the lessons is literally titled "Why You Shouldn't Trade on Fridays" or "Why I Don't Trade on Fridays." So it's a specific rule. And that's just why I'm upset at myself, is that I'm like, dude, you should have seen it coming. So that's pretty much that. That's the main commentary that I wanted to make here, is to kind of like use myself as a reminder to you guys. Your rule might not be don't trade on Fridays. It's just, your rule might be, hey, only risk this much. Or, hey, get out if this happens. Or, hey, you get what I'm trying to say? Just make sure you follow those rules because they're there for a reason. And just as I say right here, the key to success as a trader is survival and consistency. So don't shoot for trying to make, 5,000 here, 10,000 here, 20,000 here. I see this guy made 60,000. Yeah, who cares? Focus on what you do, consistency. Consistently make $100 a day. It doesn't even have to be a day. You don't have to do it like on a day thing. I don't like that whole idea of a day. But just in general, you want to consistently be profitable, and you want survival when you're losing. My losses can be significantly larger if I get emotional, if I react differently, if I try to double up on my trade. You could do that. And I used to do that when I was first starting off. I would double up and try and hope that I would balance out. And then I would end up losing more. And then, you get what I'm trying to say? And that wasn't part of my plan. My plan wasn't, if you're losing $100, get out. Or I'm sorry, it wasn't, if you're losing $100, double up. It's, if you're losing $100, get out. But, that's pretty much that. So I would rather be rich than right. If I'm wrong, I'm going to take the loss. But that's pretty much what happened here. It's nothing too crazy. I mean, if you look at the previous videos that I was posting, just the profit I made the day before, I mean, it's like a fraction of this. So it doesn't hurt me at all. It doesn't really, yeah, I make sure I keep my losses small is what I'm trying to say, as should you. But the thing that I'm just bothered about was the fact that, I broke my rule and it came back and it got me. So remember, consistency is key. I started off just trying to make $50 each day. That was my whole goal. Again, I've learned not to try and make it a day thing. But in general, my profit, I tried to make $50 on each trade when I was right. And now I'm up I don't even really make less than $500 on a trade. Unless I'm doing an example for something, or I'm going really light size, or I'm doing a Friday trade. Otherwise, and it slowly happens. Give me a few years from now, and I probably won't have anything less than $5,000 of a trade. See what I'm saying? So, slow and steady wins the race. And I know it sounds weird coming from me because I'll post screenshots of $1,500 profit, or not even 1,000. It'll be an $800 profit, and I'll say, hey, these small profits all add up. And I get messages from people saying oh, you should shut up about that. I don't even make that in a week. And I'm like, that's not my fault that you don't make that in a week. Why do I have to shut up about it? This is a small profit compared to what other people make. There's people out there making thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars a day. And I'm just trying to show that, a small profit like this, $800, don't be discouraged if you're making $800 and you see people making $8,000, $80,000, because it all adds up. So that's pretty much that. And then today I didn't do a trade because my internet was, I've been in LA this whole weekend. I just got home right now, and that's why I said, before I go to bed, let me do this video for you guys. So today I was watching Costco. I said, watch this 220. But the reason why I didn't trade today was because I was at a hotel, first of all. So the internet wasn't the best. And I didn't do any prior homework. Usually I have my trades planned out the night before. And that's usually how I go. But I had a lot of stuff going on the night before. So I didn't do my homework. So I'm coming into the market with a little bit of slightly unprepared, if you will. But I had a plan of what I wanted to do. Obviously, I said, watch this 220 on cost, keep an eye on this 287 on SPY here, blah, blah, blah. And then I get when the market opened, I'm either the charts aren't moving or Thinkorswim is frozen for me. That's the program I use. And then, Wesley's minor moving. Christian said same, minor moving. So at that point, I realized, okay, something's wrong with my internet. And I'm running speed tests and everything. I'm getting 6 megabytes, Mbps, all that stuff. And normally when I'm at home, right here, if I were to run a speed test, it'd probably be over over 60. And I'm getting 6 and 8 when I was running it earlier. So I decided I'm just not going to trade because I didn't have full focus. My charts weren't moving on my screen. It was just frozen pretty much. So obviously I could have traded off of my phone, but the fact that I didn't have a trade, a plan and all that prepared ahead of time, I was kind of making my plan as I go. that's the reason why I didn't like really do the trade on my phone. I wanted to be able to actually like watch it and everything. So, and that's not a problem at all. Because who knows, if I try to get into a trade, something else might have been happening than what I was seeing, because it might have been like, had a few second delay on it because my internet was slow, and it could have gone into a loss. So a cash position is a winning position too, is what I say. It's better than a losing position. So you don't have to trade every single day. There's some days where even my internet's acting fine, and I still won't trade because there won't be anything popping off. Maybe once every month or twice every month, there'll come a day where, there won't be anything for me to trade, or I won't be as confident. So I just won't trade, because why would I put myself in a situation where I could lose? The point here is to get into trades where the odds are in your favor. Now, like obviously your odds are 50-50. Like if you buy a stock, it's either going to go up or it's going to go down. You know what I'm saying? So the point is to get your odds higher than 50-50. So I want more confidence. The more confidence I have, the more odds I have. And I call it confidence because what gives me confidence is more strategies. The more strategies that I see, that's like, the more chances that my trade will work out, if that makes sense. So if I don't have very many things that are lining up, then I'm not going to trade, because I'm like, hey, you know what? My odds are probably like, if I take this trade, it's probably like only a 60, 65, maybe 70% chance that I'll be right. So, I don't want to take it. So you don't have to trade every single day. So for today, I didn't trade. I'm back home, so I'll probably trade tomorrow. I just got home right now. I haven't had time to even do my homework yet, so we'll see how I feel after this video. I'm super tired, so that was my plan, was just to go to sleep. But now that I have the laptop open and I'm up and doing this, I might as well, figure out what I was doing, figure out what I'll do tomorrow. I can't even talk. But anyways, that's that. And then the cost that I was watching today, it would have worked out well. I was watching the 220, and, obviously, boom, he just skyrocketed. And we went up all day. So I should have, woulda, coulda, shoulda, but it doesn't matter. It's not like, what am I going to cry because I missed one trade one day? No, I mean, there's going to be a million other days. The stock market isn't going anywhere. And if it does, we have a lot bigger problems on our hands, because if the stock market disappears, that means Apple disappears. That means Facebook disappears. That means Google disappears. That means Walmart disappears. That means the oil companies that you put your gas into your car disappeared. You get what I'm saying? The market's not going anywhere. So this also serves a purpose for those of you that are so rushed to get into it, or those of you that don't want to take the time to learn before. The market's not going anywhere. It's going to be here a year from now, 2 years from now, 10 years from now. So don't rush. If you miss a trade, don't panic. Don't get the whole fear of missing out idea. Don't start, acting emotionally. If your plan was to only get in if this happens, then, don't be halfway down the line. You'll tell yourself, hey, I'll get in if, I don't know, let's just make something up. If Costco is looking strong, I'll get in. If it gets in, don't get in all the way up here. You don't want to like have that whole like fear of missing out idea, and then you get in up here and it's like, oh, okay, well, nothing happens. So anyways, now I'm really rambling and the video is getting really long. I don't expect anyone to even be watching it at this point. You guys probably dropped off and just like exited it. If you are still watching it, I do greatly appreciate you. So that's pretty much that, guys. A little $150 loss. Where was I? Yeah. Key to success as a trader is survival and consistency. And as I say, I would rather be rich than right. So I don't mind losing. I will take my losses because they're so small. If I'm focused on being right all the time, and if I'm not okay with the fact that I'm going to lose, then my losses will get significantly bigger than they should be, and then it just ends up being, like I said, domino effect. All right, you got to go watch the other videos that I posted. The longer videos that I post, I say this in a few of my other videos, but, because in those videos I talk about what I'm about to start rambling about right now. So that's pretty much that, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I was kind of all over the place here, but hopefully it was all over the place in a good sense that it helped you and gave you some solid perspective here. So that's pretty much that, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Just, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and yeah, I'll talk to you soon, as I always say. Just have a great life, my friends.